Now, what else have I been doing in Congress? I'll tell you what. You know, we hear a lot about Medicare and Social Security, right? And look, both sides are concerned about that. Both sides, talk doom and gloom and all the rest. There's no doubt about that. But the bottom line is we have a choice when it comes to Medicare and Social Security. These programs are near and dear to my heart for a lot of reasons. I grew up in Sioux City, a single-parent mom, struggled with mental illness. In the 4th grade, we moved in with my maternal grandmother, with my grandma. I could not have gotten through high school in Sioux City had it not been for the Social Security survivor benefits that my grandma was receiving at that time. My mom could not hold down a job for any length of time because of her mental illness. I owe Social Security a lot. When my dad died, even though I didn't know him very well, when he died when I was a senior in high school, he had paid in enough to Social Security that I was able to get through Iowa State University in no small measure because I received Social Security survivor benefits. Here's the deal, folks. There are people, including my opponent, who want to privatize Social Security. They want to turn Social Security over to Wall Street. George Bush tried to do that. President Bush tried to do that in 2005. The American people roundly rejected privatization of Social Security. The Ryan budget, Governor Romney, my opponent, they all want to privatize Social Security. So long as I'm around, folks, I'm going to fight with every fiber of my being to make sure that we never privatize Social Security, that we protect Social Security. I can promise you that. Yay! Now, what about Medicare? That's a really big issue, as you know. That's something that's been in the news a lot. Medicare, I voted to extend the life of Medicare for 8 to 10 years. I voted to make sure that Iowa gets its fair share of Medicare, because many of you know that so long as Medicare is based on something they call fee-for-service, and so long as we have these geographic disparities, Iowa delivers just about the best health care in America, yet our providers get just about the worst Medicare reimbursement rates. That's unacceptable, folks. That's unacceptable. It's not only unacceptable for those providers, it's unacceptable ultimately for patients, because we cannot always recruit and then retain the best providers when that Medicare reimbursement rate is so low. I've worked for years to make sure that reimbursement rate is fixed, and we're on our way to doing that, and that we move that reimbursement rate from fee-for-service to one based on value of care, quality of care, make it more efficient so we can save taxpayer dollars so that Iowans can get the providers they need. I'm proud of my work on that issue, folks. I'm proud of my work on that issue. Ultimately, here's the deal with this election. It is a choice election, as I said, at all levels. Ultimately, it is a choice. It's a choice about who best is going to protect, restore, and expand the middle class. That's what this is about. And I always talk about, I didn't join the middle class till I got a job at Cornell College. And I still had 10 years of student loans to pay off at that point too. But we've seen the middle class decline. We've seen the assault on the middle class over the past several decades. We've got to make sure that those people who've fallen out of the middle class, and not just in the last couple of years, but over the last few decades, we have to make sure that they have the opportunity to get back into the middle class. We have to make sure that those who are there now don't fall out of it. And we have to make sure that those folks who are not in the middle class yet but want to get into it, and there are a lot of them in Iowa, and they're a lot like Dave Loebsack when he was growing up in poverty in Sioux City, I want to make sure that they have the same opportunities I had, so that they can actually be a part of the middle class, so they can buy a home, so they can have a vacation, so they can send their kids to college, so they can have health insurance. And so when they get sick, they don't go bankrupt. That's all that they're asking for, folks. That's what this election is all about. That's what it's about. It's about the middle class. And one last point on that. I found out, growing up the way I did, fortunate enough to have a good education, a public school education in Sioux City, Iowa, graduating from Sioux City East in 1970. By the way, my first time at the State Fair was the summer of 1969 when a friend of mine from high school and I came here and we camped up on the hill. I don't think we had any air conditioning at all that summer, anywhere, not in the Varied Industries building, that's for sure. But look, the fact of the matter is, education is the key. I managed to get a great education in Sioux City. I managed to get a great education at Iowa State University. That's the key to the middle class. That's the key to getting ahead in America. But it's not just the key to getting ahead on your own, but it's the key to making sure that America stays competitive in the world economy. It's about the world economy as well and keeping America at the forefront. I think the American dream is alive and well. I think that democracy in America is alive and well. But we can't continue either of those if we don't continue to strengthen the middle class and if we don't have those educational opportunities for those folks that got me somehow to where I am today, standing up here talking to you as a congressman. If anybody had told me that in the 4th grade when I moved in with my grandma, I would have thought you were totally crazy. There's no way that that can happen. But if it can happen for me, I can only imagine what can happen for those folks out there who are struggling, who need the help, who need that opportunity, who need a little bit of a hand, so when they take the personal responsibility that they will take, that I took, beginning when I was in grade school, for their own future, that they've got a little bit of help there, they got some community folks there, they've got some help because they're going to need it. Things are not easy in America now. And I'll just leave you with this. If we adopt my opponent's positions on a lot of these issues, who, by the way, said that the Ryan budget's a good start, if the Ryan budget is a good start, I'm very fearful about what the end point is going to be, folks. Very fearful, okay? And I'm sure many of you are too. I hope those here in the audience, those who are going to watch this video, those who might hear about this speech, will make a different decision. They'll choose Dave Loebsack for this congressional election, and I can promise you that I will do everything I can to fight as hard as I can to continue to protect and expand the middle class. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.